Remember that whole thing? I don't even want to insert a picture, but I probably will. Let's get real.
What if the world can change me?
If I win Miss World, it will enable me to highlight the causes that I believe in.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
Hello. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. It's a lot going on, so I had to jump on here again today about Meghan and Harry. They're making loads of money, okay? Prince Harry is writing a book, and one of my friends, Avery Stewart, hello, linked me with a People magazine article. Prince Harry announces he's writing an accurate and wholly truthful memoir. Some articles are saying it's very intimate, it's very this, it's very that, and I just wanted to discuss exactly what is going on. So it's a $20 million US dollar deal, but yet of course it's in the name of the Duke of Sussex, right? Like, so he's still using his title, but it's not what he was born as, but it's what he's become. I guess now that he's out of the royal family, he can now explain himself properly, like the Nazi uniform, like the naked billiards, which is what they call in America pool. Remember that whole thing? I don't even want to insert a picture, but I probably will. Let's get real. But like that, all of that, maybe he can now finally talk about that, because he didn't really get to talk about that when he was in the royal family, as that is not their normal protocol to discuss those types of things, because it normally doesn't happen. But of course now he can talk about all of that. He can explain that away. He can talk about his healing from that and all of those things. Yeah, so he's on his way with that. And of course, now, Meghan has her own endeavors going on. She's doing a Netflix deal, co-executive production between David Furnish, who is the husband of Elton John, which is the second deal that they're doing with Netflix. The first one was centered around the Invictus Games. So they have all these projects going on that we haven't seen yet, but they are going on. It's about a 12-year-old girl, the animation, and she's going to be influenced and inspired by all the women in history who have done amazing things. So you have like the Mother Teresa's and like all the different women in history who have done amazing things. And at 12 years old, girls are trying to find their way and find who they are. And this is, I mean, it's a good idea. The only problem is I have this Pavlov theory in my head when it comes to Meghan Markle. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit today because I feel a bit sciencey. So please humor me for a bit. So Ivan Pavlov got a Nobel Prize for his discovery about when you condition a dog by ringing a bell, the bell and dog, and feeding it. And if you do that enough times, then whenever the dog hears a bell ringing, it automatically salivates, which is a physical reaction. And so there's the unconditional stimulus, there's a conditioned stimulus, and then there is the unconditioned response. So I want to explain all of this because it's exactly what's happening to me. And it's probably happening to all of us when it comes to Meghan Markle. So food is the unconditioned stimulus. So Meghan's lies and her hateful disposition in that interview, which worldwide everyone had to endure, is like the food. So when we hear her voice, that's the food. Okay.
My husband and I are thrilled to soon be welcoming a daughter.
Then you have the bell, which is a conditioned stimulus. And this would be Meghan's like croaky voice. So the voice immediately makes us think of her lies. And then the salivation, which is the unconditioned response. And this is basically our reaction, our physical reaction or emotional reaction, which is repulsion. Is what I can best call it in my case. So I don't know if you remember when Bob Iger was there and Harry was trying to pitch the voiceover thing with Meghan, like, oh, my wife does voiceovers, you know, it's very, very nice. I hope this is not a voiceover situation. I hope this 12-year-old girl is not going to get the voice of Meghan Markle, because that would be a no for me, dog.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
There is a way to overcome this, and I think that Netflix, if you are out there, if you could share this with Netflix, God, maybe not, but there is apparently a way of unconditioning, and it's over a long period of time. You can uncondition people to have this reaction. And it would have to be constant good things that she does, constant her proving herself to be a different person than she presented in the first place. And ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But I know she for sure does not have time for that. She doesn't care enough to have time for that. We keep getting stories of family members that she's rejecting, people who have helped her that she doesn't care about, staff that she's bullying. So we're not really getting a chance to be unconditioned against her or for her or whatever. Like, we're not getting that opportunity because it keeps coming out more and more things. So yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Like, literally, dog. But like, when is Netflix and Apple and Penguin Random House, like, when are they going to stop taking on that risk of Meghan? And by the way, Netflix is paying them $1 million a week. $1 million a week. They have Spotify, of course. They have Apple. They have all these different things. When are these people going to say, let's cut our losses? Because at the moment, we're in a culture here, we're in a time here where there's a lot of fraudulence. And they are, to me, the epitome of fraudulence. She is not a humanitarian. No, she's not. He is not a counselor, a guidance counselor or a therapist or any of those things. He's not. Bitcoin and all that and all kinds of scams. There's Postmates scams and pizza deliveries. Like, there's a lot of scams going on this time because of the pandemic. People have found other ways to make money, and especially on the internet. So it's like, we can't take any more scams. So I just don't know if this is going to ride out for that long. I think they're probably going to catch on to the fact that it's not the right climate for frauds. Speaking of frauds, let's talk about the Emmy nominations, because I had some nice friends of mine in my comments talking about that in my last video. Wendy Holman, she said that the nominations would have had to be in, the applications would have to have been in February. And of course, we know that video of the interview did not get released until March. So did it make the deadline? Is there really a deadline? Can you just like pay extra fees to, like, you know, delayed application fees or whatever? I don't know. But it seems very strange that, could they have done an outline and said, okay, this is what we're doing, and then can you like put us in the nominations? Like, I mean, because it really makes no sense. How are they getting an Emmy nomination for that interview, which was not good journalism because it was based on lies, and journalism has to be based on the truth? So how is that? So is it fiction then? Is it a fiction program? And even so, it wasn't released. There were no numbers yet. There was no clout yet that they got from it. So I don't see how it can be an achievement if it hasn't achieved as yet. Another interesting thing that came out that I saw was leaked audio from Sharon Osbourne on her show. And this is like backstage discussions with her mates on the show who threw her under the bus. And they're sort of like, we had to do this. Like, there's so much pressure on us in this racially charged culture right now that we had to.
I know you're upset. I know it was terrible, but I just hope that once this blows over, that you know Cheryl is your friend. She really is your friend. She doesn't think you're racist. I don't think you're racist. But no one who knows you would ever say that.
She lost her job because of media culture, media pressure. And what she said on the stage is not racist. She just supported her friend, and it had nothing to do with race. And please, honestly, in my comments, this whole thing about you're a colored girl, a girl of color, a colored girl, whatever, and you're trying to put down another colored girl, and people calling me brown sugar and all this kind of, listen, I don't care about all that stuff. But Meghan has never identified as a woman of color. Stop. Stop it. Okay? You need to know those things. You need to know the history of that. Because if she just comes on Oprah and starts talking about she's a woman of color, you can look at her and see that I don't think that she probably had that struggle. That's what I felt. And then on the other hand, you could also go back and look at her actual history in her career and see that she never played roles. She was not a Halle Berry. I can't even believe I just said Halle Berry. Shame on me. to put her in the same sentence with Meghan Markle. But Meghan Markle even looks whiter than Halle Berry and could never have been called black in her life, but she also chose not to be called black. Just acknowledge the fact that she's not my sister, she's not my friend, she's not my family, she's not somebody that identified as anything that I would identify as. So that is what it is. So please, in the comments, don't waste your time talking about that. I don't know what is going through your mind. I don't know what is happening to your, if you have like what do you call it, color blindness. Like, I think it's mostly a men's trait to have color blindness, but any women in my comments that have it, I feel very sorry for you. But if you look at Meghan, you look at me, you can see that we are not in the same world. We're not in the same struggle. Okay? What is this? Okay. Yeah, so please keep sending in all your stuff. I love looking at it. Oh, by the way, so excited to talk about the Miss World stuff. I have no problem talking about Miss World. I'm so excited to talk about it. People are asking a lot of questions and I have so much content for that. Hilarious content, actually. So please stick with me on that. I'm gonna be putting out another video on that. But I just wanted to get this out here. They're making a lot of money off the backs of, I don't know, people who want them to be good people. And they're not. So bear that in mind when you subscribe to these things. Of course, you can please subscribe to me because it's free to subscribe to me on YouTube. I don't know if everyone knows that. Sometimes I say to people, oh, you can subscribe to my channel. They're like, how much? It's free. Subscribe to me. Press the bell notification. Like it, please. All these things help me, but they're all free things to do. Thank you very much for watching. Lots of love. Bye.
What if the world can change me? What if the world can make me?